Hello everyone, my name is Samundra Paudel and thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation today. The focus on my critical reflection is one of the most significant and ongoing issues in Australian early childhood education, maintaining and enhancing quality standards. So quality standards are not simply a set of policies or checklists. They represent the sheer commitment of educators, leaders and communities to ensure that every child experiences the highest quality of care and education. In early childhood education, quality defines the kind of learning environment we provide, how we engage with children, with families, and how effectively we foster children's development across all domains. It is what shapes children's lifelong learning outcomes and well-being. My reflection will examine how quality standards operate in the Australian ECE context, explore the potential risks and challenges in achieving and maintaining them, and finally discuss evidence-based strategies that can be implemented to strengthen the quality across all services. So the first slide is understanding quality standards in the Australian early childhood education context. To start, let's look at what quality means within our national framework. The introduction of the National Quality Framework in 2012 was a transformative moment for early childhood education in Australia. The NQF was designed to lift the overall quality of education and care and ensure a consistent approach across the country. A key component of this framework is the National Quality Standard, which provides clear guidelines for what constitutes quality in practice. The National Quality Standard outlines seven quality areas: educational program and practice, children's health and safety, physical environment, staffing arrangements, relationships with children, collaborative partnerships with families and communities, and governance and leadership. These areas together define what a high quality online learning service should look like, from curriculum planning to daily interactions with children. The National Quality Standard also establishes a national assessment and rating system. Each service is evaluated and rated against these standards, which promotes accountability and encourages continuous improvement. However, while the National Quality Standard has elevated practice standards nationwide, its implementation has also presented several ongoing challenges. Many services, particularly those in regional or economically disadvantaged areas, face resource shortages, staffing difficulties, and limited access to professional development opportunities. As a result, maintaining high standards becomes a daily balancing act between meeting compliance expectations and delivering meaningful child-centered practices. The next slide is why quality standards are essential. Quality standards matter because they directly influence children's learning experiences and outcomes. Research clearly shows that children who attend high-quality early childhood programs demonstrated stronger social, emotional, and cognitive skills, which positively impact their school readiness and long-term well-being. The Early Years Learning Framework reinforces this by identifying secure, respectful, and reciprocal relationships as the foundation for effective learning. When educators are supported to deliver quality programs, children benefit from rich, play-based experiences that nurture their curiosity and sense of belonging. Quality also provides reassurance to families. When services are assessed against national standards, parents can make informed choices and feel confident that their children are in safe and nurturing environments. Moreover, quality standards ensure equity, that every child, regardless of where they live, has access to consistent and high quality learning opportunities. This is especially important in Australia, where social and geographic disparities can significantly influence educational access. Beyond compliance, quality reflects our professional ethics as educators. It is about the values we uphold: respect, inclusion, reflection, and collaboration. When educators collectively engage with these principles, quality becomes embedded in daily practice rather than something externally imposed. Then the next slide is current challenges and risks. While the intent of the national quality standards is to raise quality across the sector, Many practical challenges threaten its consistent implementation. Let's discuss a few critical ones. Workforce shortages and high turnover. The most pressing issues affecting quality is the workforce crisis. According to the SCECQA, the early childhood sector continues to experience several staff shortages, with over 90% of services reporting difficulties in recruitment. High turnover rates disrupt continuity of care, weaken relationships with families, and place extra strain on existing staff. When services are understaffed, they often rely on temporary or unqualified staff, which directly affects the quality of teaching, planning, and supervision. And the next is administrative and compliance pressures. The growing emphasis on documentation and compliance can also compromise the spirit of reflective practice. While recording evidence of learning is important, many educators report spending more time on paperwork than on meaningful engagement with children. This administrative burden can lead to burnout, reduced morale, and a sense of disconnection from the creative and relational aspect of teaching. And the next is inequitable access to resources. Disparities in funding in between different types services types, such as community-based, private, and regional centers, create further challenges. Rural or low-income areas often have fewer qualified educators and limited access to training, making it harder to meet all aspects of the national quality standards. This inequity undermines the national quality framework's goal of providing every child with equal learning opportunities. And the next is leadership and organizational culture. Effective leadership is a central factor in sustaining quality. When leadership lacks vision, communication, or support for reflection, it can lead to inconsistent practices and low staff morale. Strong leadership ensures that the principle of the early year learning framework and national quality standards are lived values, not just compliance measures. And the next is risks in relation to the early access learning framework and national quality standards. Now, linking these challenges back to the early year learning framework and we can identify specific risks. The early year learning framework, no, sorry. Next challenges is risks in relation to the earlier learning framework and national quality. Now, linking these challenges back to the earlier learning framework and national quality standards, we can identify specific risks. The earlier learning framework is based on the principle of belonging, being, and becoming. When high staff turnover or poor working condition occur, children's sense of belonging is directly affected. They may struggle to form stable relationships with educators, which can impact their emotional security and learning outcomes. From the national quality standard perspective, quality area 1, which means educational program and practice, and quality area 4, staffing arrangements, are most vulnerable when workforce shortages and administrative pressure persist. Inadequate staffing affects planning, reflection, and interactions with children. Similarly, quality area 7, governance and leadership, can be compromised when leaders are overwhelmed by operational challenges and unable to focus on professional growth or mentoring. Ultimately, when one quality area is weakened, it creates a ripple effect that can influence all others. For instance, poor staffing arrangements can lead to less effective educational programs and lower family engagement, demonstrating how interconnected the quality areas are. And the next slide is strategies to strengthen and sustain quality. To address these challenges, we need proactive and research-informed strategies that empower educators and support leadership. The first one is cultivating professional learning communities. Establishing professional learning communities within early childhood setting allows educators to share insights, reflect on challenges, and co-construct knowledge. These collaborative spaces promote reflective practice and collective problem solving, which enhance both moral and quality. Next is building leadership capacity. Leadership development is crucial. Investing in leadership training and mentoring supports emerging leaders to create positive workforce cultures. As Wani Ganning Ek highlights, distributed leadership models where decision making is shared encourage ownership and engagement across teams. Next is reducing compliance. burdens through innovations. Using digital documentation tools can simplify reporting and reduce administrative stress. This enables educators to dedicate more time to teaching and engaging with children, reinforcing the earlier learning framework emphasis on relationships and play-based learning. And the next is workforce planning and recognition. To combat turnover, the sector needs stronger workforce planning that includes fair wages, recognition of qualifications, and opportunities for professional growth. Providing scholarships, mentorship programs, and flexible working arrangements can also help attract and retain skilled educators. And the last is embedding reflective practice. Continuous reflections will be embedded into everyday routines. This can involve regular team discussions, peer observations, and reflective journals aligned with earlier learning framework principles. Reflections foster self-awareness improvements and a shared sense of accountability. Next slide is a personal reflection. So, reflecting personally, I have come to see that quality in early childhood education is not static. It is a continuous process of growth and collaboration. It is built through daily decisions, how we respond to children, support our colleagues, and engage with families. As a future early childhood teacher, I view the National Quality Standard not as compliance document but as a guide that inspires professional integrity and improvement. I have also learned that leadership plays a pivotal role in shaping workplace culture. When leaders model empathy, transparency, and respect, educators feel valued and motivated to contribute their best. I hope to work in or even lead a team where reflection is celebrated, feedback is encouraged, and professional growth is ongoing. Most importantly, I believe quality is intertwined with equity. If we truly want all children to experience belonging, being, and becoming, then we must ensure that quality education is accessible to every family, regardless of geography or socio-economic background. Conclusion. In summary, maintaining a high quality in early childhood education is both a challenge and a shared responsibility. The national quality standard provides a strong framework for guiding practice, but achieving it requires ongoing collaboration, reflective leadership, and systematic support. The issues of workforce shortages, compliance pressures, and equitable access are significant, yet they also present opportunities for innovations and improvement. By building supportive professional cultures, strengthening leadership, and prioritizing educators' well-being, we can sustain high-quality practices across all learning environments. Ultimately, quality is about more than meeting regulations. It is about ensuring every child has the best possible start in life. When we uphold the principle of the earlier learning framework and the national quality standards, we contribute not only to the growth of individual children, but also to the strength and inclusive of our society as a whole. So thank you for the listening. My presentation ends here. Thank you.